Dude, for the last time, I am telling you, you made a wrong turn. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Finding where you want to go has very little to do with your sense of direction. I don't even know how to respond to that. Look, the map said west, so we headed west. You mean west, right? Like the direction west. Oh my God, we're gonna die out here. Hey, shut your stupid face. Someone's coming. Yeah, I see him. Let's get to cover quick. Could you be any louder? Sorry. You said run. You know I don't run.
G'day, mates. What are the pair of you doing out in the bush?
Oh my gosh. That, without a doubt, has to be the worst accent I have ever heard. We are not lost, if that's what you're asking, but counter question. What are you wearing?
What, this? This is my armor.
Well, it looks like your armor is missing some vital areas of protection.
Well, yeah, that's because that's where the muscles are.
How does that make any sense? No. The man's got a point. Anyways, what are you even wearing?
Well, this is the best armor you can get out in the Wastelands.
No, I'm sure what you're saying is super important, but I really can't focus with you switching in and out of whatever that accent is.
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
All right, I'm sure what the two of you are saying is super important, but there's just too much talking, not enough smashing. So the only question I have for you is, does it work?
Well then, looks like just one way to find out then.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerd and nerdettes. I'd like to begin this video by simply apologizing to any Australians out there, or maybe anyone who's heard an Australian talk for that horrendous accent. Believe it or not, those were actually the best takes. Now, if you saw a video last week where I tested the troll armor, which was the tire, I was struck by two things. The first thing was the crew probably would not have survived that long against the troll unless they really honed it in and worked together. The second thing is that tire armor, that's a real thing. It did exceptionally well against everything I threw at it. The only thing that was able to make it through was the 130-pound warbow, 121-pound flat bow, the war pick, but everything else, the axe, especially the swords, really struggled to do anything to the tire. There was just no penetration at all, especially with the sword thrusts. It was not getting through that tire. So it looks cool, but functionally, I think you can make some pretty great armor. So it may not have come as a surprise to a lot of people. I mean, it's really a staple of the post-apocalypse to have tire iron. If you play Fallout, the super mutants have it, the bandits have it, Demolition Man, Wesley Snipes had it. It just is something that makes sense and it works in a pinch. And the reason why tires work so well against melee weapons is because unlike the sidewall of a tire, which is just thick rubber, beneath the treads, there's a lot of different layers of synthetic fibers in there, and the most important one is it has a steel mesh, it's a beaded core. So the beaded core is steel mesh that runs through the entirety of the tire, which makes it extremely resilient against impacts on the road. And as such, it makes it extremely resilient against weapons, melee weapons, because it really acts as almost like a chainmail when you strike it, because it grips it. And the arrow, when I shot it, you could see I couldn't actually pull one of them out because once it went through, it grips and overlays in there, making it almost impossible to get out. I had to like recut the whole thing just to get my arrow out. So I figured in the last video, all the medieval weapons had their go at it, and we're gonna go a little bit more quasi Fallout / Mad Max here. We're gonna go with some modern type weapons for the apocalypse. We have our sledgehammer here, we got our baseball bat, we got this little survival tool here, and we have got ourselves a crowbar. But what I'm going to do, as everything, is we're going to level up as we go on. And the first thing we're going to attack is this ghoul. This here is old, gnarly, dead cow bone that I was going to throw at, and I'm like, you know what? That nasty piece of meat with intact bone will be perfect for feral ghoul. So the first thing we're going with here is a baseball bat, and we are going baseball bat versus feral ghoul, pitch number 1. right, so versus the feral ghoul, that was not enough to break the bone. You can see it dug into the bat a little bit right there. Some solid thunks in there, but as a whole, this is cow ribs and it did stay intact. So we're gonna ramp it up a little bit. Next up, probably one of the most common post-apocalyptic weapons, we have our sledgehammer. You know, I think I'm having the same problem I had last time with Grand, in that it's dissolving so much of that impact into the tire behind it. It's not able to get a good strike. That is cow rib, of course, but that's still holding on. So I'm gonna mix it up a little bit, have some fun with it. Next, I have this really cool survival tool someone sent me. It's kind of similar to the Indian weapons that were used that was just a club, and it's got that spike on it right there. I think this will do really well against the tire armor. But first, I just want to check and see how we do against the bone. All right, well, as I'm sure you can see, that worked incredibly well. That was able to break the bone, go into the tire as well very deeply. So that was really impressive. So if I'm gonna take anything with me so far in the arsenal, it's this, because it's actually relatively light and quick, and that's solid. So I'm willing to pass on the crowbar. I don't think it's gonna do much against this, but what I wanna do now is I wanna test and see how well I can get through the actual tire armor with this, and then I'll move on to a few different other things. I just want to check this weapon and see if I can get it all the way through. All right, let's see. Yep, that went in through out the back. So you can see that punched in, but still not an immense amount. Like, you can see that steel mesh really does slow things down a considerable amount. It's actually helpful. This thing's covered in fat now, so it's actually probably gonna slide a little bit easier. That was about right there. So I'm gonna take one now to the gut because I'll have a better angle on it. So that one there was much deeper. I was able to punch it through. You can actually see it pops out after it hits, but that one went to here because you can see where the scratch marks are on this. So that was enough to go through the tire. The tire ends about here, so it went about a good ½ inch to an inch through the armor. So if you didn't have anything underneath that tire armor, this would be enough to punch in through that and actually cause some damage to the person behind it. Quick sidebar, just because I like having fun out here. This thing has done so well, I really want to test it against this ballistic Kevlar helmet and see what I can do. I think I got a good shot at getting through that. Let's find out. So that was enough to go into it. Oh, caught right here, hold on. Go into it, poke through the other side just a tiny bit, but I think if I just would have swung a little bit harder, I could have got all the way through. Man, this thing is super freaking cool. Honestly, that's impressive, I'm not gonna lie. So I would definitely say that's pretty conclusive that tire armor does. Hold on there, Mad Hatter. How about you let me get one more crack at it? All right, she's all yours. I think it is time for some redemption for myself and Grand. I have some more old, ugh, very nasty ghoul bones here, still complete ribs. I'm gonna set those up here. I'm gonna have it be firmer against the dummy. I'm gonna take Grand out and I'm gonna see if I can crack these ribs behind the tire armor with a slightly more stationary dummy. I think I can do it. All right, so the ribs are set up behind here. This is flush against it. The ribs are located here to here. So I'm gonna take a few strikes at that and see if I can crack those ribs with the might of Grand. All right then, moment of truth. Let's loosen this up. Oh. Yep, we got one break right here. No breaks in the center. But we got one good break on those ribs right there. Man, I think it's kind of hard to hit in that point. If I hit those bones, I know it would crack, but it's got enough gapping in between it to where if it's not a perfect shot, it's not going to do much. But still, let's call it slight vindication. You got a crack right here, so that counts. So all in all, I will say tire armor is incredibly effective, especially against slashes and most thrusts as well. I was gonna come out with the warbow. If you saw last time, I actually injured my left bicep, and even that's a little uncomfortable with just swinging the heavy stuff. So that's gonna be on hold for a little bit, but I want to come out here and test this. And last video, I said that this was by Arm Street who sent this to me, and I do apologize to that company. This is By the Sword. They were kind enough to replace the old one that I had with a brand new one. So if you guys are interested in getting something like that, check them out. It's a really cool site. They have some great stuff and some really oversized, overpowered weapons like good old Grand here. And then lastly, if there's any other post-apocalyptic weapons you guys want to see tested out here, I got my new armor. It's actually really solid. There's a lot of it that's not damaged yet. It's a pain to work with, but I got some good parts cut out, so I can definitely continue that theme. If you guys are interested, let me know if there's something you want to see tested against this. As always, if you guys enjoyed this, have a great day, and instead of clicking on another video, go out and make some fun and have your own adventure.